Don Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about My Hero One's Justice, and basically we're going to be reviewing this game, and we will then be talking about what they can improve upon in My Hero One's Justice 2. So, anyways, let's get into this video. So, first off, My Hero One's Justice. What does it focus on, and how many characters does it have? First off, My Hero One's Justice takes place from when Deku goes off to Gran Torino's house all the way until All Might loses his powers. You are able to play as both heroes and villains in their own separate stories. First, you play as the heroes, and then you unlock the villains after you have played as All Might and lost his powers. You also, of course, at that point, get All for One as a playable character. There are a few characters that are going to be DLC, such as Shoot Style Deku, which is a free download, thank goodness for that, as well as the Wind Guy and Endeavor. After you get those characters, you're basically done. There is a few story elements that you can purchase, but honestly, that's kind of pointless. So, the best thing about this game is honestly the story, as well as obviously playing with all of the different characters. I'm not going to tell you all of the characters, but here are the characters that they show on the back of it, and don't worry, there are more than just these guys. So, definitely something to at least think about, and it's honestly one of my favorite fighters that is available. But then there are the problems with this game. First off is the fact that, well, you can't play online. But that's honestly my complaint with a lot of the different fighters, that you can't fight people online due to the fact that they decide to do the whole PlayStation Plus thing and so on and so forth with all of the other places. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Luckily, we have that, and it's just in our world nowadays. We can deal with it. But yeah, My Hero One's Justice. We get the game, and yeah, we can't play online. But you can still play with your friends or versus the computer, which honestly I do quite a lot, so all good for me. But that is not the end of this tale of woe, no. The next major complaint I have with this is that it has a pretty lackluster menu system. While the menu system is still fun, all you really have is, first you have the story, then the missions, which is also kind of which is a bit of a gameplay story. Then you have the arcade, which is at the bottom for some I don't understand why they did that. There's the online mode, there's the training, and then we have two things that are kind of weird. We have the files, or whatever you want to call them. Basically, it's in a lot of the different fighters. Basically, it's just like the story and stuff of the games, like different artworks done for the show, different sounds, and things like that. Basically, it's the museum of the game. We get that quite a lot. But then there's the customization, which is the worst part of this game. Customization, you have a few options that you get to choose from. And it's really, really, really lackluster. Unfortunately, you cannot create your own character. All of the characters that are available are the only ones that you get to customize. And you can't create your own with your own special quirks. Nope, not in here. Sorry, you're gonna have to just deal with it. I'm really pissed off about that, sorry. But then there's what you can do with these characters. First off, each character has a maximum of 3 types of outfits, with most of them only having 2 types of outfits. These outfits are, of course, their superhero outfit and their school outfit. But what's the third, you may be asking? Well, if you guys don't know, certain characters have helmets, such as Ida, Uraraka, and Tsuyu. There are a few others, but those are the important ones that we're going to be talking about. The other version of their outfits is either removing the helmet or keeping the helmet. That's your option. It's really, really stupid, in my opinion. Then, of those 3 options, each option then has another option, where you get 5 different colors for these outfits. And it's really, really lacking. You don't get to customize the color to suit your needs. Nope. It's very specific colors and a very specific style. Such as with All Might, which he's actually one of the worst because the heroes and the villains, the big heroes and the villains, do not have anything. Let me say that again. They don't have anything but the one outfit. Yeah, All Might and all of the villains, and of course, Aizawa, don't have outfits except for the one different color, for being able to change the 5 colors. And you want to know what the colors are? I'll tell you. First, you have your normal color, which is just whatever. Cool, whatever. Second color is monochrome, black and white. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Happy yet? Nope. Then you get heroic, which is basically taking All Might's design and just changing it up a little bit for the different characters so that it looks a little bit better. Then you have villain form, which is basically a black and purple outfit. You want to know what the last outfit is? A joke outfit. That's not a joke. It's actually a joke outfit. That doesn't actually look like a joke. Like, just as an example, All Might's, it changes his color scheme to Deku's color scheme. That's it. And for Deku, it's basically just changes it back to his original state, I believe. Yes. The original version of his outfit, which is basically just a little bit brighter. That's it. Yeah. It sucks. And Shoot Style Deku also has the same problem with the fact that they only have one version of the outfits. No suit for you. Nope. No school uniform for you. Just the super suit. I don't understand. Excuse me. Then you have 6 other options, I think? Yeah, 6 other options because there are a total of 7 spots in this segment. And do you want to know what those 6 options are? They're basically just add-ons. You get the headpiece, which can be one of the masks. It can be a ear headset. It can be a hat. It can be a few different things, but it's not really that impressive. It's basically make your character look stupid. And that's not, I'm dead serious. It really does. Almost every single customization makes your character look stupid. Then you have the shoulders, which also includes neck, which means that Deku's little mask, that's included in that segment. So that cuts out everything in that segment for Deku, except for like a few things that only go on the shoulders and won't clip with that, but most of it is basically canceled out. And the same goes for all of the other characters that has similar things. If it blocks off that specific set, you can't change it. Yep. So basically, the only ones where you can actually do everything you want is the school outfits, in which case it looks like crap. And occasionally you can do some stuff with a few of the others, but that's it. Next is your arms, which there are some cool things with that, but it's basically just it's stuff on both arms, both your forearms and your upper arms. So yeah, you can't change the position or anything on those. Like, I think that there's the hands, and I believe that Horikoshi's special hand thing is also included in that segment, which are very rare and very hard to get when you are trying to get those. But those are basically just all the same one. They just all sit on your arm. It's basically his. If you guys have read the manga, then you know what I'm talking about. But you have one version, and they just change colors. That's it for that. So that's your arms and hands. Next is your back, which includes tails, I believe. I believe, yeah. The tails are included in that. Then you have belts, which is probably one of the least important segments. There's like a few different things, but it's basically just belts. And then there's your legs. And it's just like different shin guards and stuff. Like, I believe Ida's shin guards are in that segment, which, again, he can't use unless he's in his school outfit. So, yeah, Ida's like the least customizable one. And it really sucks. But, yeah, and that's it. Then you have your thing to set up the versions, and you get 3 outfits for each character. 3 custom outfits for each character, and that's it. You don't get like 20 different sets. You don't here's the thing. I am glad that there is a limit to certain characters, but it's in certain games, because otherwise it would destroy our games, but that's beside the point. For this, you get 3 outfits, no more, no less. They could have at least had 5, but they don't. So, whoop-de-doo. And then it's basic, I don't know. It really bothers me. And that's it. That's all you have. The story is good, but the customization is bad. The gameplay's fun, but still, it's weird to switch between characters. I've said this before in about other games in my own personal life, that playing games with your friends and stuff is fun, but the problem is that in almost all games you get that one character that's your perfect fit, but for a lot of games, a good game is something that you can switch between characters. You don't necessarily have to have a character that is the character that you will only play this one character. But for this one, all of the characters are so different that switching between them is almost impossible. Which, in my opinion, is kind of bad. So, yeah. It's understandable that they had to do that for this game, but I wish that they had a few characters that were at least similar so that we didn't have to deal with this issue. Now, a few things of note is also that you have, when you are fighting in the actual game, you get 2 allies if you decide that that's going to be within the rules. Now, these allies will each get 1 attack in occasion, unless they miss, which is very common, and then they go away forever for the rest of the fight, which is weird because that never happened in My Hero Academia. Every single time that someone was fighting, everyone was fighting. No time did someone say, let this be my own fight. No. everyone was going to fight in those battles. Yes, there were times where for example, in the battle with All for One, Class A was trying to escape. That was their whole goal for this fight. And that's what happened. They escaped. That was the whole point of that fight. They weren't trying to fight, they were trying to escape. And that was the only time that there were ever characters on the sidelines. And they were planning for that. So, yeah, needless to say, I'm a little bit pissed off that they don't actually help you in the combat. Like, what I would have liked to see is that maybe instead what they do is in the background you see your sidekicks fighting against the sidekicks of your opponent, and then when you hit the button, they come rushing in, do a quick attack, and then they run back to their fight. But the other thing is that when you hit the button, that also means that you are opening yourself up for an attack as well, which means that you have to back out and get away from them. You have to back away from your opponent as well, so that they don't send their own. Definitely something that's possible, but it's still something that would be a fun way of doing things. But they didn't. Oh well, not the end of the world. But that is not the end of the... But now that you guys know my complaints with the game, how can the game be improved in the new game? Well, I'm going to be taking from another anime fighter, Dragon Ball. The Dragon Ball game has kind of an open world feel to it. You don't necessarily play the battles or whatever as much as you would think, but instead you get to look around the world. You get to go to the stores and do different things. This would be something that would be really fun. Rather than, oh, once you complete the story, you're done. That's it. Now, what I would do instead is that there is a smaller pause menu, and instead you can go into these segments. Either there will be an actual area that is specifically dedicated to story fights, and then there are other characters throughout the map that you can fight. These would be characters such as Class B, because of the fact that most likely we won't be getting Class B as playable characters. And you can basically wander around the school and face off against other students while you play as your own student, perhaps even being able to fight against the others. And perhaps you can even go outside the school and run into the villains, because once again, the students have their provisional licenses now, which means that they would actually be able to fight a villain if something like this were to occur. Definitely something to at least be thinking about, and basically all that it would do is you would run into them and they would say, "Let's fight," or something along those lines, and then you would go into the area. There would be a specific map that is specifically set up for the area that character is in. Usually it will probably be the streets, but there will be other options. It would definitely be something that would add to the story, and I personally would enjoy it, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys would too. And the main reason that I say that they should do this is because of the fact that this isn't Soul Calibur or Tekken. These two games are very different, and they don't the games. For this, it would be better to honestly go with the Dragon Ball route. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what they decide to do. And as for customization, I don't necessarily want them to improve the customization that much. I do want them to be able to actually be able to customize my character to the way that I want to, but I don't want them to add the ability to create your own character. While that will still be a complaint that they don't have that, the reason that I'm saying that they shouldn't add it is kind of an interesting side of the story. You see, My Hero Academia is as a game is not the best place to actually customize your character, quite simply due to the fact that the idea of how many quirks there are actually makes it almost impossible to create any type of character. Creating something like that is a really hard challenge, especially to make it well balanced, which means that the best option instead would be to create something like a D&D game. That would be the more balanced way, the better way to do it if they were going to continue the story. And personally, I would enjoy that a little bit more than creating something with actually being able to create an actual customized character in these fighters. The other possibility, if they are going to introduce a actual customize your character, is you would be able to take the powers of any character that is in the game and use that as your actual form. This would mean that characters like Dark Shadow would actually change, allowing Dark Shadow, instead of being just like this giant bird thing, what it would be is it would change its shape depending on how your character is. If you are a human character, then it would be very different. You might not even be able to use Dark Shadow simply due to the fact that there are some problems. And you could also do something with other characters, allowing you to change if you change your head, because let's be clear, there are animal heads. That would mean that you could have Dark Shadow have that type of head instead of the bird head. Definitely something that could be fun, and I personally would enjoy it. And the same can go for almost all of the characters. The only character that I do not want us to be able to customize the abilities for is a character that is based off of All Might or Deku, because of the fact that there quite simply are no quirks that are exactly like it. But anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think of this idea. And also let me know what you guys thought of My Hero 1's Justice, and if you're excited for My Hero 1's Justice yourself. Personally, I am going to tell you guys, do not pick up My Hero 1's Justice if you have not gotten it already. Instead, wait for My Hero 1's Justice 2 and get that. But if you have gotten My Hero 1's Justice, I do not recommend necessarily picking up My Hero 1's Justice 2 until somebody has given a good review of it that gives a good enough reason for you, yourself, to actually buy it. So if you personally think that if you personally believe that My Hero 1's Justice the original and My Hero 1's Justice 2 are basically like a DLC, then don't necessarily worry about it. If you think that all they had to do was add DLC to My Hero 1's Justice to make it My Hero 1's Justice 2, then don't necessarily buy it. But anyways, guys, hopefully that explains things. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And of course, if you are new, please subscribe and ring that notification bell. And if you want to help the channel out even more, go down into the description and check out all of our links down in the description below. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!